Good afternoon or morning, everybody, and welcome back to a weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. I know I said I wasn't going to post about Invest 90E because it was very unlikely to even make landfall and anywhere whatsoever before even weekends. But again, there's a potential. It's actually very likely it could become a tropical depression, which will be the first named system of the Pacific, which is actually, again, this is actually earlier. So it looks like we are starting off the Pacific hurricane season a bit earlier. So this is, I just decided to post on it just because I just thought might as well just do it just in case. Because it is still a topic that's important. So again, here we have again this chance right here in the Eastern Pacific. Again, very likely to become a tropical depression here, but it's unlikely to become a tropical storm. So again, it's not going to make landfall anywhere, so it's not a big threat for any landfall or anything like that. But again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you're new. And again, also be sure to share the channel to any friends or family that you think will love daily weather forecasts as well, so they are weather aware. So again, without further ado, let's get in this video. If this becomes a tropical depression, which is likely, this will be Amanda, I believe. This is going to be the first name. This will be tropical depression Amanda. So again, here we have this area of focus here. Again, the X is where we have this potential area of development here. And this is the little area where we have, again, this track where it will potentially, when it does form, that's where it will possibly form in that circle area. So as you can tell, we have up to 80% chance again of this tropical for a chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. But not only that, also a high risk or high chance for 80% in the next 48 hours. So very likely, like I said, to potentially become a tropical depression. Again, here it is. This disturbance is right here where the X is, and again, this is where this is the cone area where it's likely when it does, and if it does, become a named system. That is where it will be. So that's what we're looking at here, and now we're looking at the Invest 90E, the satellite here. So this is basically what we're seeing. As you can tell, it is that we are seeing a bit of actually really circulation, and we are seeing a circle-like figure, which is again something that you do want to see in an Invest. You don't want to see it very unorganized. It does seem, again, as you can tell, it's basically a bit possibly again. It is becoming a bit more widespread. We are seeing again maybe chance we're seeing some outer bands likely, but again, not necessarily we're not necessarily seeing a ton of vorticity with this system really. As you can tell, it is moving west northwest. Again, here it is. We are seeing a circular formation. We do want this to possibly fill in a little bit more. See these little spotches to fill in, to possibly see it as a tropical depression, as what you want to see this. But again, we are seeing again a circular like formation here, which is possibly why we will be seeing this. So again, here will be the center of the system. We're going to be seeing outer band, of course. That is what we're seeing here, but we're not seeing again a ton of vorticity. We're seeing a little bit right here. It does seem, again, we are seeing just a little bit right here. We are going to be seeing a little bit of vorticity there, and of course we are seeing these bands moving around the system. So again, like I said, we are seeing a little bit of vorticity, which is rotation. But again, not enough to be a big area of concern. So now we're going to be looking at here the intensity for the future, the next couple of hours, or the future, as to exactly see where it will stand the next couple of days. So again, it's very unlikely to actually see this become a tropical storm here. So again, we are seeing maximum sustained winds here. We are seeing maximum sustained winds here around 30 knots, which is 35 miles per hour. We're going to be again, needing it to, it's very likely again here to stay at a tropical depression once it does become one. It's again very unlikely to become a tropical storm. We do have two models though actually getting it into tropical storm force wind. Again, because it will need to be 38 miles per hour or more, of course. Again, here we have 35 knots. It is only two models are crossing that to become a tropical storm. It's very unlikely. So it's the most likely outcome is that it will stay at a tropical depression and not really strengthening whatsoever to a tropical storm. And it does seem to possibly do weakening within the next 96 hours there. Now we're looking at the tracks again, not making any landfall whatsoever. We have one model that is completely way out of this cone expected tracked, and that's going to be possibly, again, that's the only likely landfall in areas in possibly western Mexico, the western coast. Again, this is our area of this is basically our cone. This is where we're seeing all the models conjoined all together. This will be most likely our cone of focus here. So again, as you can tell, it's not going to be anywhere, not near any islands whatsoever, and it will be weakening again before it even gets even close to any of these islands. So again, that's what we're looking at there. Now we're looking at exactly seeing the tract, and also going to be seeing exactly how strong this system will be millibar wise. As you can tell, it is at 1,009 millibars right now. Again, that black line is where it's potentially going to go in the next, as you can tell, here is the hours, so 48 hours, 72, and 96. As you can tell, it's going to be weakening every single 24 hours. So the next 24 hours will be 1,000, or actually it will strengthen with the next 24 hours. So that's going down 1 millibar. And then after that, after the next 24 hours, it starts to weaken every single time. Now going to 1,009 millibars, going to 1,012 millibars in the next 72 hours, and then 96 hours to come really weaken at 1,014 millibars. So very, very unlikely for this to really strengthen much longer. So again, it's likely to be a tropical depression, staying there for a couple, maybe 3 days, not much longer, and then it'll start to weaken, and then just become just a little tropical disturbance, and that'll be it. Now we're gonna be taking out at the radar here, exactly seeing exactly how strong this is and exactly what we're gonna be seeing. Here you see these isobars. So again, you're gonna be seeing these very close to each other, right in the center of the system. So again, that is where we are seeing again a ton of winds. Again, they actually get a bit closer to this. So again, here you have these isobars very close to each other. That is indicating very strong winds out here, and that is why you have that 80% risk for chance for seeing a potential tropical depression. Because again, we're seeing these isobars incredibly close to each other, and that's going to be indicating a ton of winds there. And then we also, again, you can just see that really heavy rain as well. And you can also see that circular rotation here. You can also see the circular rotation. So definitely, like it definitely does look like a tropical disturbance, as you can tell. And it does again go maybe down to 1,003 millibars in the next 24 hours. It does strengthen the next 24 hours. We'll be seeing quite the heavy rain now. Possibly seeing, possibly seeing, of course, if it were to be going over any areas of land, it obviously would cause flash flooding issues. But again, that's going to be very unlikely. In the next 66 hours to 72 hours, it kind of like completely just diminishes and just falls apart again. As you can tell, we don't even see any. These isobars are very far from each other. We have a high pressure system. Again, this kind of falls apart with this GFS within the next 66 to 72 hours of it falling apart. Now we're looking at the European again. Here we have this very strong system. Again, the isobars are very close to each other, indicating very strong winds. So again, definitely be seeing a potential chance for, again, really heavy rain and very strong winds is what you're looking at there for an early or just a tropical disturbance in general. As you get the next 36 hours, we still have this system. Again, it's a bit smaller. Again, as you can just tell just by the look at it, it looks very unorganized at that point. And then in the next 66 hours, it basically just falls apart. We have a little bit of a circular rotation there and that heavy rain in the middle. And then it kind of just falls apart in the next 78 hours to 84 hours. So European is showing it falling apart a bit later, but it will be showing it definitely really getting a lot smaller and breaking up in size by 50%. So either way, it does show to be weakening it won't be strong for that long. Just that's what we're basically seeing. Now we're looking at the vorticity here. So you're going to be looking at, of course, a circular rotation with really dark red colors. That's going to be seeing very strong winds, and you want to see a circular rotation with this vorticity, which means rotation. We are seeing a little bit of vorticity, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, that we aren't seeing much vorticity. We're not seeing enough to make it really a threat, really, for really potential, maybe getting a lot of rotation to maybe become a tropical storm. Not enough of that, as you can tell. We are going to be seeing a bit of more circular rotation with vorticity, and we're going to maybe seeing a really big, strong strengthening in the next 42 hours. We're going to definitely see a huge strengthening in vorticity and winds, but it does, of course, it's not as big. It will be falling apart later on the next 84 to 90 hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, basically, this is not a huge urgent thing, and it's just going to at maximum be tropical depression, very unlikely to be tropical storm. Of course, I will be watching in case anything unexpectedly happens with models now heading it towards a tropical storm, but very unlikely. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.